have feminists reclaimed the word slut? According to the British Psychological Society, feminists have reclaimed the word slut, and therefore it would be appropriate to address a client as such, if that were their preference. Did I miss when feminists reclaimed the word? I think it's still offensive. I suppose it's possible that some feminists, or people who identify as feminists, have done so. Does this body also support the use of other reclaimed words? Well, I can see that the example of the slut walk is given, but I am surprised that the BPS think that those women who might take part or organize such an event actually would describe themselves by that label. And it's a very US-centric idea. I can't see how it's been shown to be a popular or common idea in the UK. The ones they have mentioned in addition to that are dyke, and also give MSM, men who have sex with men, as an example. I would have thought that, if a woman came to a therapist insisting she be called slut, the therapist should be trying to find out why. The BPS are a mess at the moment, for a whole range of reasons. This is just one of them. A group of us already wrote to them last year, to express concern about some of the policies in place. The more people who push back on this, the better. It's not my idea of feminism. I wouldn't be very impressed if I was called this by a fellow feminist. There's a great dinner party scene in the recent J.K. Rowling Strike novel, Troubled Blood, where Strike confronts a bunch of middle-class students about their slutwalks. What about racist slurs? Homophobic ones? Are they acceptable or not acceptable? And why would that be acceptable/not acceptable? I can see some TW going in and saying please call me a sissy slut though. I don't get how some people get to reclaim some words but not others. For example, queer has been reclaimed by some bisexuals, but if I as an autistic went into certain autistic spaces I can't call myself Asperger's. Well, queer is the most topical example of that, and no, it's not gelled like it's been reclaimed by all. I had no idea that anyone was attempting to reclaim the word slut. BPS has totally lost its way. And you were told you weren't a woman, but you were a slut. No one sent me the memo. Better check my feminist junk mail. Checks. Nope. I don't see the use of slutwalk as reclaiming a word. I think slutwalk was used to garner attention for the derogatory way women's sexuality is judged, and how women are victims of sexual assault and rape. It wasn't women affectionately reusing the word slut or wanting to take pride in the concept of sluttiness. Like so many feminists' protests, slutwalk was pushing back at the patriarchy's desire to define us, judge us and control us. It was an edgy way to say, leave us alone. Sounds like the patriarchy wanting to justify thinking of women in that way. TBH. I hate this word and have a very visceral reaction to it, so hard no from this feminist. Do those who attend slut walks actually refer to themselves in that way? I guess there's parts of the internet where women identify as sluts, but I doubt there's any feminist discourse going on there. Rather sexist in that their choices were derogatory female terms, isn't it? No male versions listed. And yes, I immediately thought about just who might be wanting to be called those words. Not females. Or if they are female, what is their state of mind that they feel the need to be denigrated in the feeble excuse of being empowered? Yet another false narrative spread by those wanting to be seen as edgy, ultimately though causing harm. I read one of their tweet replies. I am not convinced their social media is run by a critical thinking adult. What even are any direct male equivalents? Even the one I can think of has a very different feel to it. Not got anywhere the level of insultism. And given whole global history men/women/sex/double standard, it's not a mystery why. In fact, I've seen males apply words like slut bitch to themselves loads. Maybe that's who they're thinking of, blokes who enjoy the sense of humiliation and degradation those words make them feel. Also note porn titles etc. bitch slut etc. ubiquitous. Could it be about male porn addicts? Oh, hold on, silly me. We've reclaimed it. So definitely about women saying hello, I want you to describe me as a slut please. Well, I guess the only male equivalent I can think of off the top of my head is F-boy. I don't think that is seen as a positive thing among girls/young women, and I don't think many young men would like to claim it. I really struggle with this reclaiming slurs as a positive thing. Maybe I'm old, but I think of the old saying, quote, the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. In a way, it gives other people an excuse to abuse you. If you can say N-word/slut/dyke/queer, why can't I? I've been called a N-word and a S-word many times in my life, but never by a friend, and I refuse to accept it. It is my most hated word. I would say cunt till the cows come home, but slut is by very definition sexist. It's the one word, along with racist words, I would never use. It didn't need to be reclaimed, it needs to be banished. I'm still curious who they asked, or more likely who demanded this. Where are the grown-ups? Therefore it would be appropriate to address a client as such, if that were their preference. I don't understand this. Why would a psychiatrist be addressing a client in this way? Hello, doctor. I'm here for my therapy. Morning, slut. Please take a seat. It's diabolical, isn't it, reclaiming slut but losing woman? I suppose as slut is inherently female, many trans women would get a kick out of calling themselves little sluts. I am a psychologist. And no, I would never use that term, or other equally offensive ones in therapy. If someone explicitly asked me to use that term about them, and guess what, in 25 plus years of clinical practice no one has, I would be exploring and formulating with them the reasons why. I truly despair of my professional body. After last year's racism, now this. I have been asked in the past by someone to refer to them as the Messiah. I did not, for obvious reasons. And no, he wasn't a particularly naughty boy. Slut has never had a positive connotation, so it can't be reclaimed as positive, but some may attempt to claim it. But historical linguistics is not on the side of creating a positive connotation, because the history of nouns, to describe women, usually go from positive greater than negative connotations over time, not the other way around. Creating a positive connotation for slut is a utopian dream IMO. So it's nothing to do with feminism, it's about men acting out their fetish during therapy. Okay, I see no issues. Nothing to see here. Given the two examples, sounds like lesbians with penises using therapy for validation, and to indulge their fetish. Women have not reclaimed slut, it is an abusive term still used early and all over the internet, to abuse and shame women. The people calling themselves sluts are AGP men as part of their sissy fetish, have no right to reclaim the word, and people who use it within the kink scene within a BDSM context, so it's still being used pejoratively but with consent. The slutwalks were not reclaiming the word, but presenting a show of defiance against it, and drawing attention to how often women are abused/shamed/judged/victim-blamed for what they wear, etc. To be successfully reclaimed, it would need to have been redefined, and simultaneously be considered unusable/offensive by men. Men are still using it freely to denigrate women, and another group of men are now using it as part of their vile interpretation of womanhood. It's horrifying seeing so many key organizations so overtly captured by this ideology.